The Scream Killers, how two teenagers murdered their classmate Cassie Jo Stoddart. She was 16 years old, smart, kind, responsible, lined up for a weekend of simple chores and quiet solitude. Cassie Jo Stoddart was no stranger to responsibility. A straight-A junior at Pocatello High School in Idaho, she was well-liked, dependable, and mature beyond her years. On the evening of September 22, 2006, Cassie was house-sitting at her aunt and uncle's home, caring for their cats and dogs while they were away. She invited her boyfriend, 17-year-old Matt Beckham, to keep her company around 6 p.m. Later, two classmates, Brian Lee Draper and Tori Michael Adamsick, both 16, stopped by purportedly to hang out and watch a movie. Under the pretense of a friendly evening, they stayed just long enough to scope the house. They left, promising to return later. Unbeknownst to Cassie, they had secretly unlocked the basement door before leaving. Beckham and Cassie remained upstairs when the lights flickered out around 10 p.m. They heard noises below. Beckham's mother picked him up later that evening. He declined to stay behind to spend the night. He called home around 11:15 p.m. to let his mother know all was fine. Cassie decided to stay, caring for the pets. Eventually, Draper and Adamsick returned in dark clothing, gloves, and white masks. They entered through the unlocked basement door and began switching the fuse box on and off, hoping to scare Cassie. When those tactics failed, Adamsick proceeded upstairs armed with knives. Draper followed. The violence that ensued was savage. Cassie was stabbed 29 times, suffering a violent, bloody killing far beyond what either teenager had imagined. They left her body on the floor, fled, and later spoke about the incident on videotape, celebrating their act. Nearly 2 days later, on September 24, family members returned to the house and discovered her lifeless body. The shock reverberated through Pocatello. Murders were virtually unheard of here. Detectives launched a meticulous investigation. There was no forced entry. Draper had unlocked the basement himself. Knives, masks, gloves, and clothing were hidden at Black Rock Canyon. They also found a partially burned videotape and a journal-style death list with multiple names, Cassie's at the top. An autopsy revealed a brutal and violent murder. Cassie had fought for her life. The number and locations of her wounds spoke to a predatory attack. Investigators recovered fingerprints and DNA on the fuse box and items at the scene, and matched them to Draper and Adamsick. When police interviewed Beckham, he mentioned that Draper and Adamsick had been at the house earlier. They had claimed to watch Kill Bill Volume 2, but neither could recall missing details, and theater staff confirmed they were never there. Under pressure and facing a polygraph, Draper broke. He confessed that they had planned to scare Cassie, but Adamsick went further. Draper guided officers to the buried items in Black Rock Canyon. Salvaged from a beating sun, the videotape contained footage of the planning, the attack, and the boys celebrating afterward.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddart. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah. It was 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like it wasn't real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up, we gotta get our act straight.
Okay.
One line became infamous. We're sick psychopaths who get pleasure off killing people. We want to be just like Scream. The tape laid their motives bare, a deliberate, horror movie-inspired killing spree. Brian Draper pled guilty in April 2007, to first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Tori Adamczyk was convicted in June 2007 of the same charges. In August 2007, each received a mandatory sentence of life without parole plus 30 years to life for conspiracy. Their appeals failed. Idaho's courts upheld the convictions, citing overwhelming evidence, including the tapes, the weapons, and their own admissions. The community's grief lingered long after. Cassie's mother, Anna, died of cancer in 2022, never fully recovering from the loss. Her brother Andrew has shared how the trauma shaped the family, some days easier, others unbearably painful. In interviews from prison, Draper shares remorse and insight. He confesses he felt invisible, driven by a desire to be noticed, a toxic combination of psychological emptiness and violent fantasy. Adamczyk's appeals were similarly dismissed. This case transcends shock. It explores why and how two teenagers could become killers, weaponized by horror films and disconnected from empathy. It raises questions about youth, media, mental health, and the abyss of teenage alienation. More than 17 years have passed, but Cassie Jo Stoddart is not forgotten. She was more than a statistic. Life in Pocatello changed forever. The story reminds us that evil can wear familiarity, that a horror story can move from screen to front porch. Every child left touched, every life left grief-stricken, every community shaken. Cassie's memory calls on us to guard our empathy. We must ask, what signs to spot, what warnings to heed, how to rise when a young life is in danger before doom shadows in. Because sometimes the greatest horror isn't fiction. It's real life. And it begins when someone we think we know smiles, then unsheathes a blade.